we don't have a ton of time, so let's do Tsukiji. Yeah.
Start that from the top.
Let's so you probably haven't played a whole lot of snare drum yet today, is that safe to say?
Right.
Okay. So just like I want you to tailor your warm-ups on the clock. Which reminded me, like, if you're doing that thing, if you are gonna do that thing with you left your mouse here. So with 2 3 4 2 3 4, you might like come up with a warm-up that whatever that sort of lets you kind of exercise those muscles.
Same as I would do.
Similarly here, so you want to just get used to. And this, what I just did, is way too loud, as is how you started. It was kind of on the too loud side. So I think it's fine to warm up mezzo forte with this stuff and just kind of. Get used to that perfect shape, that sort of jump, and get them all the same and get them all comfortable and nice and swoopy up to that downbeat. So let's just do that. That measure looped mezzo forte. Mezzo forte. Yeah, so I liked number 8 and number 10. By the time we got through it, I think that was a lot more comfortable. Sometimes you get more than 2 bounces out of, sometimes you get a little buzz there that you probably don't want. And sometimes it's not as perfect. If you were doing it in slow motion, you would want it to sound more or less like that. And maybe not all of them sounded like that. Once more, let's do it 5 times. Mezzo forte, loop the first. Yeah. And we did the, so, one of the important things about that is getting your first note of the rough tiny and your last note huge, right? The other thing that works is getting the timing right, that sort of triplet feel. And the thing that I think is maybe most suffering is your left hand isn't necessarily giving you 2 notes with the second one louder than the first. So I want a nice even da 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 every time, and maybe I'm getting da 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 da, and so it interrupts that sort of swoop up to the downbeat that I want. So can you just do that for me? I still hear your double as equals, and I want the second one to come out. So squeeze your fingers out and give me that second note of the double. Mama, da, da, that. Yeah, so that's the right idea. It sounds a little uncomfortable right now, so maybe that means you haven't done that in a room 50 million times. And I know as soon as you do that, it'll be fine. So just go in and do it 50 million times. The first 10 million will sound terrible, and after that, it'll start to get better. So let's just get those out of the way. Okay, so let's assume you've done that. Other warm-up, you just want to sort of, I know you're perfectly capable of playing 8th notes and 16th notes, but you really want to sort of, again, at a mezzo forte level, just kind of get how you want this thing to feel. Do you want it? Or there's some shape to this thing, and it's easier to do if it's mezzo forte and if it's without that stuff, without the roughs and the flams. And then you can sort of get in your head, okay, this is the sound I want. That's kind of the sound I want. A little bit of a dun 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 dun, little sort of walking march kind of thing, but very subtle. And certainly, maybe the accent on 4 is slightly less important than the accent on the downbeat. Like a stepping stone to the downbeat accent. But however you shape it, can you just show me what you're going to do by... Just do it that way. No roughs, no fun. Yeah, I think that is just fine. Obviously, it's too loud, but I think it's totally useful to do that and just get in your head, this is the shape I want, and then execute that with all the bells and whistles and stuff. Okay, start once more from the beginning. Don't let it speed up in the back half when it's just 8th notes mostly. Don't let it speed up when it gets easier. And can we do it at 1/40th of that volume? Let's overshoot. Let's make it so soft that I say, Emilio, I can't hear it. Louder, please. Shh. Softer. So that's a pretty good dynamic. I would also bring out the accent on 4 a little bit. I think that's good. It's kind of getting... what else would I say? Yeah, I mean, we got to work on our roughs, and I think that's a worthwhile exercise to do, because it's got to be, with excerpts, it's like...
That's all you have.
Oh, yeah. Everybody can play pretty good roughs. Everybody can keep pretty good tempo, but you're not going to out 99 other people. So yeah. It's got to be. And you never want. I mean, there's not a great response in this at the very softest edge. I don't know if I can fix that right now. But, keep it right in there. And just get used to playing at that dynamic. Once you've warmed up and you've got everything where you want it as a forte, you got to sort of be able to exist in this space so that you can, so you can make, so that the difference between this and this is huge to you, and you can control it, and you can go anywhere in between those two dynamics. Right now, it doesn't feel like you're totally Okay, and don't do it without a measurement. What I did was just terrible just now. I'm not warmed up either, but you know, if I was working this up, 120, and yeah, very soft. And also do, I think we've talked about this, but first 2 pages of stick control at pianissimo.
Yeah. Really tiny.
Yeah, and it's much better than it was. You remember the first time you did this?
I don't want to.
Yeah, your soft snare drum is much better than it was. So, okay, can we do? Let's do this. As long as we're playing soft. Shares out third movement. One more. It's okay. Don't do that. So, okay. We don't have a bunch of sticks here, but you would want to maybe think about using something.
Articulate.
Yeah, just delicate. You would also maybe want to mute the drum a little bit more. Where did you get this? This was just lying around.
Okay.
So when you go to a gas station and get a handkerchief, or do it to department stores too. So you could be like the guy, you know what I mean? Everybody's got like either something they just found 5 feet away, or a handkerchief that they bought at a 7-Eleven. You could be that guy who like goes to Dillard's or something and gets a fancy monogrammed handkerchief. What are we talking? I mean, the best handkerchief in the world's got to cost like $30 or something, right? I mean, I don't know, but you could get like a pretty awesome handkerchief for the cost of a couple of Happy Meals, and then you'd be that guy with the awesome handkerchief. Right now, you're that guy who just walked over. You don't want to be that guy. Okay. So something a little bit more articulate. Overmute a little bit to just sort of cut the sound out. Also, I think you could start a little bit louder and get softer. 3 Ps, that's pretty much it. So you start almost mezzo forte. And again, this drum doesn't have a great response right at the rim, and especially not with, maybe I've even overmuted it a little bit. And we're both a little slow here. I've heard the philosophy that you take it pretty slow in auditions so that you can show off your awesome double stroke moves, you know what I mean? But it goes faster than that in like a real orchestral setting, and sometimes like much faster than you'd want to go. Like, it's not unreasonable that it would. I think that's too fast for an excerpt version of it, but just know that it may well come to that. If you're thrown into an orchestra, you gotta be prepared for the fact that this thing may cook along. So maybe meet us in the middle and, each one shaped just a little. Okay, once more. So start mezzo forte-ish. So a lot of those were phrased differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what I liked, several of them I liked quite a bit. The ones that I liked didn't give me too much on the third eighth note. I think it's better when you go to the fourth. We're dividing the measure into half. Dun, 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 cha, 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 cha. So just, I think it's a drum corps thing that you're just sort of ripping out the end of that sort of thing. So don't let that sort of take over. So shape them, I think that way is your best way. But whatever you choose, all of them the same way. And again, that's a control issue, and that's gonna come from you playing a lot of songs. And then I don't think you really have to worry about this, but it's pretty common to sort of slow this down. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just to make sure you're not doing that. That'll help you sort of keep that.
Okay.
Cool. Let's just do a little bit of F, and then, geez, sorry, I kept you. Okay.
Trying to pick one.
It only happens
3 times.
It only happens 3 times. And then, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. One of those, the rough made the beat a little late.
Mhm.
So make sure, can you do it without the rough? Yeah. Good, now make it perfect the way you would want it, without the roughs, but I still, I still want it up, and I think you're just kind of dun, 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 yeah, so I can do this with 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, and every now and then the downbeat is a little bit early. What is it? It's a double right. The right. So just make sure it doesn't come early.
Okay.
Yeah.